24/7.
Who's your favorite person in India today? Right. And that's a random audience. Hello and welcome to this special show. All our prayers, all our hopes are with one man and 14 others, Rahul Dravid and the World Cup. Let's wish him the very best for this World Cup. And we have this highly intellectual audience waiting to ask you intellectual questions. Are you ready for it? Tough questions, right? Ready? Okay, we'll come to you in just a moment. But first let me ask you this. One thing you said on NDTV which kind of worried us a bit. You said if you win the World Cup, not only will you take off your shirt, you'll take off all your clothes.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you got to retract.
Yeah, you got to be very careful of what you say, I think, on TV, because it can, you never know when someone might sort of use it on you. But I think it'll be it'll be just great to have a good tournament. I think it'll be great to just go out there, play some, very good cricket. And it's exciting. It's exciting for the group. It's exciting for all of us to be part of an event. And if we do win, then let's see what happens.
Whoa! So it's still in suspense, right? But we got to get it on camera anyway.
Yeah. Maybe people won't want to. They'll you can have a vote and say.
But you're looking fitter than I've seen you ever, actually. Really working hard at your fitness. Your team is, I suppose.
I think we are. We've sort of working quite hard over the last 15. Towards the last couple of tournaments after we came back from South Africa, there's been a big stress on fitness and the fielding to try and sort of prepare for this event. And the batting and bowling is coming together as well. So yes, we're in good shape. Hopefully now we sort of go into the World Cup, fresh and really looking forward to the event.
Okay, let's get started with questions. Who's got the first question?
I want to ask you a question regarding Robin Uthappa. We all know how talented he is. Like, he's playing the World Cup for the first time. Obviously, there'll be some pressure on him. As a captain, how would you make him feel comfortable? You both are from the same team, Karnataka. You play for the same team. How do you wish to, suggest him or whatever? Just make him comfortable.
I think, Robin's got to view this as a great opportunity. I think not many young kids get the opportunity to play in a World Cup. Rather than thinking of it as additional pressure, I think Robin's got to see it as a great opportunity in his young career. And that's what, we'll be telling him. We'll be telling them that go out and play your natural game, go out and play what makes you feel comfortable and enjoy.
What was your first World Cup like?
My first World Cup was exciting. I still remember in England in '99. I was experienced, so I played about 3-4 years of sort of international cricket by then. So it wasn't that much of it wasn't that much pressure on me. But there had been a few questions asked about my sort of one-day performance prior to that. So it was important for me to use that as a stage to sort of have a good World Cup. And sort of prove that I could play at that level.
Excuse me about one thing. There used to be these questions about you being slow, but what suddenly happened to Rahul Dravid? Sixes? You've just become an extremely aggressive player. What happened? Something you're eating? Or?
Yeah, it's just in the diet, I think.
I think you want to thank your wife for this.
Yeah, I know. She's sort of giving me the right food and... I think it's just a question of adapting. I think over a period of time I've grown in confidence as a player. And we are all not the finished articles as soon as we come in. I think very few players come in as finished articles. You need a bit of time. You need to play at this level. You need to have a few ups and downs. You need to learn about it. And as long as you're willing to improve and you're constantly improving and looking for ways to improve, then I think you become a better player. And I think that sort of continues till you finish. Even now I'm looking to improve and
so do you have a lot of self-analysis, and is it very technical? Do you look at your game on the video and say, I did this wrong, or do you think of it mentally? What happens? How scientific is cricket getting?
Cricket's getting very scientific, but a lot of it I think is mental. I know that, a lot of people do use the technology and all that. I do use it, yes, once in a while to look at my batting, but I'm not obsessed by it. I don't, constantly see it and fret about it, because I think, at this level, all of us, especially if you've played for a period of time, you do have the ability and you do have the talent and you have the skills to do it. I think it's a question of getting your mind right. It's a question of how you work on your mind, how you keep analyzing your mind. So it's a self-analysis not only about your own cricket, your game, but also about your mind, the way you
much
think.
in the mind, is it?
It is in the mind. I think after a while it's it's mental really. The game's about how you can control your emotions, how you can react, have the right responses in the right sort of situations, in the right pressure. I think that lets you down more than your cricket. And I think if you can get that right, then I think more often than not you give yourself the best chance to succeed.
So is there room for a team psychiatrist, psychologist?
I think we have experimented with that. We have used that a bit, and I think
you're the main psychiatrist.
I think the senior players do have a big role to play. Like they ask.
But you said you experimented with it. Sorry, and then?
No, and we have. I mean, we have used it. I've used it personally. The teams used it at various levels. There is a place for it. I think there's a place for it. Whether it's on a continuous basis, I'm not so sure about.
What does the psychiatrist say to?
He's not really a psychiatrist. I think he's more a sports psychologist. I think when you say psychiatrist, you get into you think all of us are mental. But no, I think it's just about. I mean,
like what would they say?
It's just about giving you sort of maybe ideas to, sort of responses to react when you're under pressure, and how do you react in certain situations, what's the best response, giving you ideas on how, you can relax, how you can get into the best frame of mind. And the key is to be able to get into the best frame of mind. And sports psychologists, if they work for people, I think they work for some, they don't work for some. It's a highly individual thing in the end of the day.
One of the things they seem to be telling players is, when you do something good, really enjoy it. Reinforce that good feeling so your memory. So you see people going a bit over the top, right?
They do, but I think yes, reinforcing your good performances is very critical. I think what we tend to do a lot is reinforce our negatives. I think we spend a lot of time focusing on negatives and poor performances.
Bit of an Indian trait.
It is. I mean, it's probably a trait of anyone in a profession that is demanding. I think and we need to reinforce the positives all the time, and hopefully we try and do that a lot in our team meetings.
Talking about the question when he said enjoying things and your mental strength, both combined, what about captaincy? Are you enjoying captaincy, or you prefer the carefree days when you were a player?
No, I do enjoy the captaincy. I think I see it as a great honor and a privilege, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed everything that comes with it. I think you got to accept that there are going to be tough days as a captain. Not everyone's going to obviously. You do suddenly become from being everyone's sort of good boy to everyone's sort of whipping boy at some stage. But
especially that nasty thing called the media, right?
I mean, they have their role to play, and everyone, I think it's that. I mean, if you're captain India, and it's not personal. I don't take it personally. I mean, there'll be a captain after me, and I think he's going to go through the same thing as well. I mean, the captain before me went through it, the same thing as well. So, it's not about Rahul Dravid. It's really about the position that you inherit, and I think some of the joy comes with that. I mean, comes with learning how to deal with these things and cope with it.
True. Question? Okay, the young girl there in the black and move. Yeah.
Many a times, many individual players are involved in off-field and on-field controversies. There are nasty remarks that are passed, or even actions lead to controversies. So as a captain, how do you deal with it? Is there some suggestions, or you talk it out with the team members, or it's just it goes away like that and the media makes it?
Or you just use your bat on them?
No, I think we do talk about these things, but you must realize that cricket's, everyone's trying their best out there. It's highly emotional. You're playing for your country, and things can sometimes get out of hand. We do have an ICC, code of conduct policy, which is really good and sort of keeps a lot of things in check. But people do lose it, sometimes on and off the field, and it does happen. It's part of the sport.
So tell me, when they say Australia, there's a lot of gamesmanship. In your ranking people with gamesmanship, where would you put India? Are we aggressive, and are we mild, quiet, good guys?
I think we're pretty aggressive. I think we give back as good as we get. I think a little bit of the sledging is overhyped. I just truly think that, I think it's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's getting better, definitely. I mean, and especially with the new code of conduct and stuff, people have to watch it. Yeah, people have to watch it. It's, a little bit of gamesmanship is good fun. I mean, and we indulge in it as much as anyone else does. We give as good. We give as good as we get.
I can't believe you say a nasty remark to anybody. Have you ever?
It doesn't have to be nasty to be gamesmanship. I mean, you can say something like, you can remind someone about how he's got out the last time or the last innings.
That's pretty nasty.
That's
like, what would you say? Like, what would you say to somebody?
Like, for example, if someone's got out 2 or 3 times to Anil, and if he comes into bat, you might sort of bring Anil on and then, remind him, the close-in fielders might remind him about how he's got out to Anil.
Remember the last time?
Yeah, remember the last time, you nicked it here. Why don't you give, Nick one again? Or sort of, just a little bit of gamesmanship, or if someone's not in form, then you remind him about, what his form has been recently, and he's not really, sort of just try and, like you spoke about. I mean,
So you say you're really out of form. So sad. I'm so sorry for you.
What do you Let me say that, you might say something like, he's not really in the best of form. Maybe he enjoys the dressing room more than he does the field. So let's get him back there quickly.
How about this young girl here? Yes, you got a mic.
With the Aussies no more invincible, who do you think will India play against or rather win against in the World Cup 2007?
Thank you.
Right.
I think I wish it was true, and I'm hoping, and I believe that, if we play well, we can be there in that final. I believe that there are 8 teams that will be competitive in this tournament. There are 8 teams that will truly believe that they can be there in the final that day. Australia will probably start as favourites, but not by much. I think the gap is close. It's going to be tight, and in an event like a World Cup, anything can happen. So it's going to be a close World Cup. It's going to be a tough World Cup.
So you say it's more level than it's been before, say in the last 2 World Cups?
I think it's more level definitely than the last 2 World Cups. It's going to come down to performances, though. I think, in the end, it seems level on paper, but there might be 2 or 3 teams that go on a bit of a roll or perform really well during that period. And I hope India is one of them who could take it away from the rest of the opposition.
In the last couple of months, what's made you more happy? India doing well or Australia doing so badly?
I think India doing well. We never really worry about opposition.
Tell the truth. You must be saying, yes, well done, New Zealand.
No, really. If you're saying well done, New Zealand, then you got New Zealand to worry about. I think you really got to look at your own game and your own team. And what's made me happy, I think, a period of time is our form and the fact that a lot of our players who have been injured are sort of coming out of injury and playing good cricket.
Okay, how about a young man here, right in the front?
Rahul, coach role is very important in World Cup. So from last time, this time the coach is different. So what is one positive thing about that?
I think the coach's role is important, but it's in the end of the day, it's a team. That's the most important thing. It's the players that do the job. The coach cannot go out and bat for you. He cannot bowl for you. He has a specific role to play. It deals with the preparation of the team. It deals with how he sort of gets the team ready to perform on that particular day.
In deciding the team, in deciding strategy, how much coach and how much captain? 50-50, 75% captain, 25%? What's the rough ratio? Not only in yours, just historically.
I don't think you can give a number or a ratio to it.
It's a joint effort.
It's a joint effort between the team, the captain and the coach. Sometimes if you have a selector on tour, you might involve a couple of senior guys. But in the end of the day, I think the final call always lies with the captain. I think and everyone's clear about that if there's a disagreement, or not a disagreement, if there's a discussion and 2 people sort of don't agree on something,
final call.
The final 11 always rests with the captain, and he's got to make that call, and that's the way it's always,
Generally, isn't it true that the captain always makes the good calls? The bad calls are the coach's fault?
Yeah, I think there's so much of focus and so much of sort of media attention nowadays in the game that a lot of times the coach and the captain, get sort of obviously be seen as as people who've sort of got to make everything right, or are the ones who make everything wrong, which is obviously not the case.
I have a whole lot of email questions from viewers all around the country. They're kind of rapid fire, so you just give quick answers to them. I'll give you them. First of all, somebody wants to know, what's your favorite nickname, Jimmy or The Wall?
I like Jam because that's what I was called as young. The Walls,
You like Jam, right. What's your dream final against West Indies, Pakistan or Australia?
I think Australia. Because we lost to them last time, so
you want to finish them? Maybe your dream final is against Bangladesh.
Anyone we can beat.
What's your nightmare final?
Somebody other than India in the final.
Your favorite one-day international knock, the 145 in Sri Lanka in 1999 World Cup, or your 153 versus New Zealand?
I think the 145 against Sri Lanka.
That was your favorite. Your son Samit, when he goes up, would you like him to be a cricket captain, a doctor like your wife, or a golfer like Tiger Woods?
Can he be all?
Yeah, he can actually. Doctor, captain.
Yeah, I know. Play golf for 35 minutes. Yeah. Right. No, but I think Samit's got to do what he wants to do, and I think there's going to be absolutely no pressure from either me or Vijita about what he's going to do. And
Graham Smith apparently said you're the best looking cricketer around. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Is it a...
Coming from Graham Smith, I
It's
don't
a bit
know.
worrying.
Yeah. Take it as a compliment.
So I won't carry on with that question. Oh, but the next one says, Rahul Dravid, you prefer to be on the ramp or on the screen?
Neither. I prefer to be at home.
Playing it very safe. I'll ask you again outside. Okay, Rahul Dravid, would you prefer to be behind Dhoni on a motorbike or watching Dhoni on a motorbike?
Watching Dhoni on a motorbike. Motorbikes are not for me.
And Dhoni on a motorbike is even more dangerous.
He's actually, yeah, I mean, not, maybe after the World Cup, after he's finished his career, I don't mind Dhoni on a bike.
What makes you really angry? Bad advice or media questions when they have no clue about what cricket is? Come on, say. Okay, I got the answer. Media. Who's your best captain? They mentioned Mark Taylor, Mike Brilliant, or Imran Khan.
I never played against Mike Bailey or Imran Khan, so for me it had to be Mark Taylor.
Mark Taylor is a good captain.
Yeah, Mark Taylor was a great captain. I just thought I loved the way he was equanimous. You never really knew on his face, you know, whether they were losing or winning. I think he was brilliant at it.
You're a bit like that.
Some days maybe, some days not.
Favorite non-cricket sportsman in India? Leander Paes, Mahesh Bhupati, Sania Mirza, or Baichung Bhutia?
I think both Leander and Mahesh have, done a lot for Indian tennis, and I think they've, sort of given Indian tennis a huge name over these things. I'm also a big fan of people like Vishwanathan Anand, Major Rathore, what he's done. So yes, I mean, some great sportsmen. P.T. Usha, growing up as a young kid, watching her do well in the Asian Games.
So she's your favorite?
Yeah, she was definitely growing up. I mean, you watched P.T. Usha and some of the hockey players.
And your favorite actress, Bollywood actress?
I don't watch much Bollywood.
Come on, tell us the truth.
Oh, God. I don't know, man. I was young, maybe Juhi Chawla or Kajol.
Playing it safe, when I was young. Ask him, do you believe him? You must have a favorite. No. Okay. Where do you prefer to play, Bangalore or Nagpur, your wife's hometown ground?
I've had more success in Nagpur, I must admit. I mean, I've had quite a bit of success in Nagpur.
Really?
No, I'd love to actually play in Bangalore and really get a test 100 here someday, but I've had more success, I must admit, in Nagpur.
When you come and play, you born and brought up and played all your life here, right?
Yeah. Great memories. This place is fantastic memories for me. As a young kid, it's where I've grown up. I've played so many matches here. Had some great memories here. Made some great friends. Shared some really lovely moments of victory and some tough moments of defeat as well. So it's a place that's made you. It's made you who you are. So you must always come here, and it makes me feel good to come here.
And when you walk out and there's 50,000 crowds around, is this the most pressure you face here?
Actually, I don't feel too much pressure with crowds. I've never had
so much expectations of homeboy, everything.
Maybe in some ways I do feel probably people are very familiar here, and I feel at home and comfortable here as well. But somehow I have never really done well in Test cricket here, and so it's something I'd like to correct.
So the law of averages means it's going to come.
Hopefully someday.
Right. At toss time, do you pray or is your mind totally blank?
At toss time, when the coin goes up, especially if you want to win that toss, and you're praying.
You're praying.
Not praying, but I don't praying, but I'm just. You obviously want to win that. If you want to win a critical toss, then you sort of.
Do you have any superstitions?
Not really. I generally call tails all the time, but it's not a superstition. It's
any other superstition?
I always put my right pad on first. Right.
Really?
Yeah, but that's a habit. It's sort of been a habit and something I've done always. So that's what I do always.
Last two questions from the emails. When do you get the most flack from your teammates? When you lose a toss when it's a beautiful batting pitch, or when you give a speech to them?
I think they're sick and tired of hearing me speak to them. The toss I think is not in my hands, but maybe giving them a speech is in my hands, so I could sort of they can say, please cut that short.
Finally, what is the best compliment a teammate has ever given you?
I think every time you win a game and you win a game for your team with a bat, you go back in and just the sort of respect that you get, and everyone sort of comes up and says, well done. I think that's you can't get a better compliment than that, and that's what you play for. I think you play for that respect in the dressing room and people looking up to you.
Okay, thank you very much, viewers, for all those emails. We'll take a short break, back in just a minute, and now live questions from this intellectual audience, right? Welcome back to this special session with the one and only Rahul Dravid. The man, actually, the whole of India will be on your shoulders. Isn't that a
Thanks,
tough
Manoj.
weight? Just to remind you, something you were trying to forget.
I was just thinking I can go out there and relax and enjoy it. Now that
Okay, let's have a question from, the girl in pink there at the back,
With the 1 billion people's hopes on your shoulders, how do you feel right now?
He was just trying to forget that.
I think the 1 billion people hope that we play our best and try our best, and that's what we can hope to do. That's what we'll try and definitely do. We'll go out there and do our very best. I think I don't look at it that way. I think I just see it as 1 billion people behind us and supporting us and encouraging us, and I think that's a great support to have. So it makes me feel good.
The girl immediately on your left, yeah. Go ahead.
Hi Rahul, I'm Aisha. I'd like to know if or should I say when India wins the World Cup,
Right.
what would be the distinguishing factor that sets us apart or gives us an edge over the rest of the teams?
Well, I think we'll know that if and when we do win the World Cup, won't we? I mean, it's going to be I think the performances are going to be the key in this event, and I can't stress enough on how much we're going to have find people who are going to deliver in the critical moments. The team that wins the World Cup finally will have players who've have some top performing players and players who've delivered when the pressure's been on. And then if we can find those players and we can be those players, then we'll end up with very good results.
Is it something intangible, like the Indian team has more passion than anybody else, or more commitment, or something?
I think everyone's going to have the passion, everyone's going to have the commitment, everyone's going to have the drive. I don't think you can go to a World Cup and not have it. So,
But the Indian team earns more than anybody else.
well,
And they deserve it. I'm not one of those who believe you shouldn't.
well, that's debatable again. I think if you maybe look at the numbers and see that maybe that might not be true as well. So,
So you're trying to argue for a hike.
no, I'm not trying to argue for anything. I'm just trying to say that maybe the misconceptions need to be corrected as well.
Right. On the left side here, how about this young man in the front row? Just pass the mic down front.
Do you personally feel that cricket gets due media attention? Is it like an overdose of media attention, or is it enough, or is it less? What do you personally feel about this?
Well, personally, as a
Don't worry
cricket,
about me. Yeah.
No.
We're
No,
just the media.
personally, as a cricketer, I think that the media gives us, just too much. Gives us too much attention. Gives us too much of. There's a lot of debate, I think, on cricket and a lot of discussion on cricket today, which just probably gets a bit too much sometimes. In the sense that I think I personally feel that there's a lot more that that can be discussed and a lot more that should be debated rather than the cricket. And cricket gets a lot of television time and space, which could be utilized for other things. But that's just me, and I guess that's probably
What
not
do you feel?
reflective.
Do you think there's too much media attention on cricket, or you want more cricket?
No, actually, well, I feel cricket gets way too much media attention, where there are Indians working as hard, if not more, in other sports.
Right.
Because I see Rahul Dravid, captain of the Indian team on television, getting 45 minutes space. Whereas the captain of the football team? Whereas the captain of the hockey team?
Right.
And
Good
where's the world
point.
champions, Pankaj Advani?
Are you a footballer?
No, I used to be a snooker player.
Which I think you have a valid point. Anybody else? Yes, this girl in the black shirt.
Hello Rahul, I'm Sija from Bishop Gardens. As a captain, do you think the Indian cricket team has a killer instinct?
Yes, I think we've shown that. I think we've shown that at various times that we have the ability to win, and we've won some very important and good games. We've played some very good tournaments. So I do believe we have that killer instinct, or we have that ability to win. It's just a question of doing it consistently and more often.
This young man on the right here, yes, with your hand up. Go to Mike.
Hello Rahul, this is Prateek. My question is, when Saurav Ganguly was out of the team, there were lots of controversies in the media. What is the reaction of the team with a strong comeback in the dressing room?
Yeah, everyone's happy that he's come back and he's playing very well. I think, in the end of the day, everyone in the team wants players who are playing well and performing well and giving their best. And, I think irrespective of what your name is and who you are, if you're one of those players, then, you should be in the team and you should be playing. And if you can make an important contribution to the team, then, that's great. Those are the kind of players that we want to show.
Is he a good friend of yours off the field?
Yeah, I mean, we do get along. We do definitely get along. We spend a lot of time together. Sachin, me, Kumble, Lakshman. We've all, spent so many years together. It's not a gang, but I mean, we have spent a lot of time together. And we know each other well. I mean, I'm not saying that we need to spend every waking hour with each other, but I mean, we have spent a lot of good memories together, some tough times together. So I'm sure, yeah, we have a lot of respect for each other.
Did you kind of help him out when he went through this bad patch?
No, I think the credit for going through it and coming out through it should go to him. I think he should take all the credit for it, and he's the one who's gone back and worked very hard. He's looking leaner, fitter, meaner, and playing good cricket. So
even taking great catches, right?
Yeah, he's fielding very well as well. So yeah, it's all a good signs, and hopefully he can repeat that performance in the World Cup.
John P. Ganguly. You know something, Rahul, in this kind of, when all this pressure's on, and say you've never done this, you never dropped a catch, but say,
drop plenty.
What do you feel when you drop a catch?
I think you're disappointed. You're not disappointed about letting, the fans down. I think that sort of doesn't cross your mind at that point in time. I think you're probably disappointed about the fact that, you let probably your bowler down, you let your teammates down, and you let the sort of, the situation of the game probably, if you've dropped a catch at a critical stage, then...
You want to go underground?
Yeah, I think you just want to, the ground is probably just dig a hole and sink underneath.
And do you like that replay screen which keeps showing the drop catch?
That's a killer nowadays. Every time you look up and they're showing it 4 or 5 times, so they'll never let you forget it.
But have you ever cried out of disappointment or unhappiness when you got out early, gone and just wept like a child?
No, I don't think I've wept as a child. No, I don't. No, truly. I mean, I don't think I've sort of gone back after getting out, playing for India. Sort of wept. I've done that at school maybe, but
at school you did.
Yeah, at school I have a few times, maybe once, but no, not after playing for India. I think at least you try and portray that thing of being too cool about it. Yeah,
cool about it, right? Okay, let's take somebody here.
I'd like to ask that there have been happening so many episodes in Indian cricket team, like we start with Chappell and Saurav relationship, and then Sachin not playing well, and then Sachin's backache, and then Agarkar not playing well, everything, and you have to be all the time answerable to media. So don't you feel sometimes irritated and stagnated? Okay, now this is it. Why should I comment? And sometimes maybe you wouldn't feel like commenting on them.
Yeah, I mean, cricket's a little bit like a soap opera in this country. So there's always going to be issues. I mean, you cannot get away from it. Whether one issue ends, another issue will be brought up. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way of being an Indian cricketer. That's the way of being an Indian captain. And if you want to be the Indian captain, then you got to accept it and you got to learn to deal with it and steer through it as best as you can. But like I said earlier, it's not a personal thing. I mean, after I leave and I'm not the captain, I mean, you'll be asking this question to the same captain, the next captain, because another issue will be brought up on something.
If you were playing for a long period, would you ever say, look, I don't mind now dropping captaincy and just being a player again?
I mean, if the time comes and if that situation does arise, then sometimes the selectors might make the decision for you. You might not have to make. No, that's a fact of life. That's sport. I mean, you've got to accept that. And who knows what happens in the future? So you can never say. You can never say never. You can never say.
Okay with that?
I'm okay with anything. I mean, I love playing for my country. I think the most important thing, other than the it's not really about the captaincy for me. It's always been about playing for India, about doing my best for the team.
And who do you take advice from as a captain? From Sachin, from Saurav?
You look at all the senior guys. Sachin, Saurav have done the job earlier. You've got Anil Kumble is someone. Even Harbhajan Singh. Different. Zahir Khan has been used him a lot, especially discussing with bowlers. Dhoni from behind the stumps. I mean, you sort of use players at different times, different stages. You might, sometimes you might be crossing, and even if he's a young kid, I think a lot of the young guys might have good ideas. You can't just dismiss off someone just because he's a youngster. He might come up with a good idea. So you've got to be open to listen to them and obviously make the final call.
Looking at this World Cup, who do you think in the Indian team, apart from you, of course, is going to be the man of the series? Who do you think is a kind of surprise that you're hoping a lot out of? One guy.
I think you can't rely on one guy. I would be, I think...
No, not to rely, but just like you hope somebody's going to really prove himself a surprise package.
I'd hope that 7 or 8 of our guys are really going to prove themselves and have a good tournament. I wouldn't want to pick out, single out one. I mean, obviously the guys who are in the event for the first time, they would be, there are some young boys in this team who maybe not many teams in the world have seen. I mean, whether it's a Srishant, it's a Munaf, Robin, Dinesh, these are boys that not many in the world have seen. So they could be someone who could have big tournaments and help.
He knows how to answer media questions of any type, no problem. But the guy in the green shirt?
Right from the time you made a debut till date, which has been the most memorable tour? And which victory do you cherish the most?
Most memorable tour?
Yeah. And which victory do you cherish the most?
I think winning in Pakistan, when we toured Pakistan and beat them for the first time, was a fantastic tour. Very memorable. The last World Cup was great as well. We played some good cricket, and unfortunately, till we reached the final, I think this was a great tournament.
They're going to play Pakistan on the 15th of April in Barbados. Any special tactics for them? Special...
I think we've had
always a special tense moment.
It's a good moment. It's a great. I mean, it's probably got a little less tense nowadays because we played a lot more often. I mean, we've just been there recently. You know, they come here, so we played them a lot in the recent past. So it's not that tense. But I remember in '99, we played them in '99, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric and tense because we hadn't played them for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I think it's changed a lot now. I mean, we do play each other quite often, so it's not that probably tense as it used to be.
And off the field, are you friends?
Yeah, I think you get along with all the players and all the teams. I think you know, I wouldn't say friends, but I mean, sure you do get along and hello, and maybe some of the other boys are probably, you know, some of the younger boys, especially some of the boys who play a lot of under-19 cricket, have played with their youngsters a lot, so they do get along quite well.
They say that India-Pakistan is almost like a war on the pitch. Do you think cricket against Pakistan helps peace or raises tension even more?
I think it should. I think if taken in perspective, I think it should. It should help peace. I think it should help. I don't think sports should be taken that seriously as for it to cause friction. You know, I think it's got to be viewed as sport and as enjoyment and a chance for people to get together and have to understand each other. So I would think that any amount of people-to-people contact between the two countries would be beneficial. You know.
Okay, we'll take a short break. When we come back, the last section, and Rahul Dravid says he may even dance then. Let's see. Welcome back to this wonderful setting, the Chinnaswamy Stadium, where Rahul, you were born, brought up, made into a great player, represent India. And these youngsters from Bangalore, dying to fire questions at you. The young girl at the back there, in the pink. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
West Indies has got a good scoring pitch. So what's the strategy going to be like? Is it going to be 6 batsmen and 4 bowlers or 7 batsmen and 3 bowlers?
Well, I think we just have to, I think the good thing about this team is that we've got the ability and the combination to play, you know, both those kinds of combinations. We've got the ability to play 7 batsmen and 4 bowlers with 10 overs from the part-timers, or we've got the ability to play 6 batsmen and 5 frontline bowlers as well, you know, with the all-rounders. So we've got a good combination, we've got a good blend. I think we just have to tailor it depending on the form, the fitness of our players, the conditions that we're playing against and the opposition that we're playing against. So, you know, the decisions in the final composition will obviously have to be made depending on what we see at that point of time. But I think we've got the depth to cope with whatever we might need to do.
Well, they say the biggest wicket taker in one-day cricket is something called the unforced error.
Yeah, I think if you can create enough pressure, and if you can, as a fielding team or as a batsman yourself, the toughest people are the ones who can create enough pressure and just do the basic things right, and sort of make the error.
Right. The young man at the back there, last row.
Hello,
yes,
sir. My name is Nikhil. I'm from the Doon School. So when the school team goes to play a cricket match outside, the school ensures that the authorities take the school children outside for cheering. Similarly, do you feel that the BCCI should tie up with airlines in India to try and make fares cheaper, you know, for people to go see the World Cup? Or when
you want a free ticket to the West Indies, right?
I don't know how much the BCCI can control, or I mean, I don't know if it's in the BCCI's, sort of ability to control airfares and hotel bookings.
You get free tickets to the West Indies. Okay, this girl in black in front of you, yeah.
I'd like to comment on how modest you are, although you're so famous.
Okay, I think that is a round of
Program's a bit embarrassing. You're just trying
You've played a lot of roles on the team itself, as a wicketkeeper, as a batsman, and captain and fielder. Would you also try your hand at bowling maybe, or something?
I have. I mean, if for the people who don't know, I have taken 4 one-day wickets, and one of them Saeed Anwar. So I'm very proud of that. A high point of it is. You know, Saeed Anwar is the highest scorer in one-day cricket at the moment, and I have his wickets. So I mean, and I quit when I was ahead.
The girl right in the back there, last row. Yeah.
What, according to you, is more difficult to handle? Is it fame or criticism?
That's a tough one.
I think it's a criticism maybe. I don't know. It's a tough question actually. Both of them. I mean, the fame has its has its advantages, no doubt about it. I think the fame is a result of you being successful and having done really well. Criticism, if it's well informed, if it's meaningful, then I think can be really beneficial and something you can gain and learn from. If it's not, then you've got to learn and take it away. I think the most difficult thing, to answer your question, is probably dealing with the lack of perspective for me. I think the emotions can be so extreme at times, and having to deal with that can be the toughest part. I think I'd love if there was a certain sense of perspective about everything, but I guess you can't expect that in a passionate game and like cricket.
Tell us what you feel when an umpire gets it wrong. You've slashed the ball, it's been caught behind you, you haven't touched it and you've been given out. What do you feel? You want to give him a...
I mean, at that point of time you are disappointed, but when you go back and you think about it, I mean, there are many times when you... exactly. There are many times that, you're probably given not out when you were out, especially in
So the days of walking are gone?
I think the days of walking are gone, and I've never been a walker. I accept and respect the umpire's decision. So even if I get a bad one, I accept it as part of the game and part of the human error and move on.
I mean, if you get a good one,
you accept it and try and make the best of it. And that's, I think, I think the umpires do a good job.
Let me ask the audience, when a batsman's out and he's given not out, should he walk or not? How many people feel he should walk? How many feel the Indian team should not walk? Come on, do you feel he should? How many people feel he should walk? Oh, that's a majority. Depends on the team. And how many feel you should not walk? It's about 50-50. Yeah. Okay, how about, okay, this girl in the red here.
I just wanted to ask you, which former captain of India do you truly admire and why?
I've learned a lot from all the people I've played against. Sounding diplomatic again, but
very diplomatic.
That's true. But no, that's the truth. I mean, Azu was my first captain, and playing under him, he sort of gave me a lot of confidence.
So they learned a lot from all, but who's the best?
I mean, I wouldn't want to put a finger on it. I think it's not fair to put a best. You can't really compare.
Then the others will feel bad.
Yeah, and I think, and in the end of the day, the captain's as good as his team. So probably, during Saurav's time, we had the best team. I think that's a better way to put it.
You're almost saying he's the best captain you played under.
Well, he was. I mean, in terms of the numbers that he has and the results we produced in the last 5 years, yes, he definitely was in charge of the best team that we had during that period. So, and I think a captain has a role to play, but in the end of the day, it's your squad, it's the composition of your team. I think just the support that you're getting from outside, the talent available. So it's
one of the things about you, like they said, you're modest, you're considered a wall, you're considered conservative. And you were until you became captain. Then you've become pretty daring, pretty experimental, pretty risk-taking. It's a kind of, you waited till the moment and then, in a very positive way, I mean that.
Yeah, I guess the way I portray myself and my personality tends to give people the feeling that I am sort of conservative or I'm, sort of more traditional. But actually, I mean, a lot of these judgments are made by people who actually don't know me. I mean,
there's the wild side to Rahul.
No, it's not the wild side. It's that's one of the things I find quite interesting about, about people, forming judgments on cricketers. I mean, you have, and the media or anyone.
Misconceptions.
Yeah, they have a lot of misconceptions about people. Because you don't, I mean, you know for yourself that unless you really know someone, you really don't know his character.
Right.
But someone has never met me, has never known me. You'll read an article or you read something or someone will say something about your character, about the way you behave. And you think, the guy doesn't even know me, doesn't even met me. How does he know? I mean, how can he form this judgment? So that's what I guess being in public sort of life does to you.
Too, yeah.
People sort of form judgments without actually knowing you or truly, I think people who really know you sometimes find it difficult to figure out who you are. And so it's...
Okay, last 3 bits of advice. Anybody got advice for Rahul Dravid?
Come on.
Everyone has. You got advice. You got advice. Okay.
My advice would be that in football, I mean, before the match starts, both the teams, they get there in the field and they play the national anthem. So maybe in the dressing room, at least if you can play the national anthem, it would be a good way to motivate our team players and our best wishes.
Interesting.
In some countries, they do play the national anthem before the start of the game. In South Africa, especially.
He's saying in the dressing room.
In the dressing room, yeah, something we could.
You don't think his speech is better than the national anthem?
I mean, both of them can.
Both. First the speech, then the national anthem. Any more advice?
I wanted to know, this is a little more personal. I just wanted to know, do you regret not doing something that you could have actually done had you not taken up cricket professionally?
He's going to be a commentator.
No, as in like, something that would have given you greater satisfaction just as a human than the fame and recognition you got after being Rahul Dravid, the cricketer.
Cricket's given me a lot. It's given me satisfaction. It's something I love doing. It was a passion and a love. So I never, want to do anything else than what I've done for the last 15 years of my life. Which is play cricket, and that's something I would never want to change. Yes, I mean, I think being so busy, it's probably not given me the ability to travel and see many places, really see places as I would have liked to do.
Okay, I think we've more or less run out of time. Actually, two things. One is, do you want to give 3 cheers to Rahul and the cricket team? Yes. Go for it. And then, who wants to dance with Rahul? Come on. Let me shake his hand. Come on.